This upcoming training exercise is going to focus on the accelerating lunge. So an accelerating lunge, as I'll just demonstrate, starts slow and ends fast, hence it's accelerating during the lunge. Now why we might want to be using that is for use in a compound action. So a compound action is one that involves one or more feints. So basically you're trying to deceive, you're trying to trick your opponent. Now, the reason you want to use an accelerating lunge for this kind of action is because in order for your deception to work, the feint that you're presenting to your opponent that you want them to fall for, they need to be able to see it. If everything comes in too quickly, if you were just to quickly disengage, they're not going to see your initial action, they'll only see the final action. So when you're doing a compound action, you want to be presenting your blade so that they can see it, fall for the trap, before then disengaging and changing the line that you're attacking in. So for that, that's where you need this accelerating, starting slow, finishing fast, an accelerating lunge. Now, it can take a bit of time to practice this, to try and have your balance in the right place, to be able to go from your lunge, starting low, pushing forwards, and disengaging. The key thing is you always want to be pushing forwards in this lunge. You don't want to be holding it back because this becomes off balance and you can tell what you're up to. However, in order to train, in order to try and get used to having a nice accelerating lunge, that's actually one of the best ways to do it. Try and really focus on the muscles that you need to be using in order to get this exercise. So I'm going to take this from the ground up. So this exercise is mainly going to be a recap of the accelerated lunge and then trying to improve it, so you'll try and improve it at home. If you're wanting to see how your lunges are looking, then record yourself doing them and then watch the feedback. So watch how you improve over the course of a training session. As always, health and safety information about this video is now in the description. Do read that before conducting any training. So, to start with the accelerating lunge, what I'm going to recommend you first of all do is from your on-guard position, you're going to raise your front foot as if you were going to lunge, but this time you're going to hold the weight on your rear foot. So you're holding it and just getting used to being able to hold your body on one foot, so your lunge is suspended. So you're going to try and hold that for 3 seconds and then you're going to let your lunge continue forwards. So from your on-guard position, you start the accelerated lunge, you're holding it 1, 2, 3, and then you're pushing forwards. So you can practice that a few times. Now, a key thing as well, with the accelerated lunge, we're preparing this for a compound attack. So we're not just focusing on our lunge, we're going to try and focus on our arm and our blade work as well. So make sure, as you're lunging, first thing that goes out is the arms. The arms will start extending. Your toes come up on the lunge, you're holding it 1, 2, 3, disengage, lunge and hit. So you're starting to build up this accelerating attack. Now, a more subtle accelerating attack is as you keep your foot close to the ground and then push slow. It's a very subtle build coming up. But holding your foot just off the ground is a lot harder than it is holding your foot way up because of the way you reposition your body. So if you're beginning, make that action more obvious just so you can build up the muscles, build up the technique and understanding of what you need to be doing. So if you need to from your accelerating lunge, feel free as you start extending the arm, you're going back up, holding it for 1, 2, 3, disengage, push in with the lunge. Keeping is making the last part really fast. As you get more confident, you can then start to, instead of having your leg up high, you're going to start your lunge and start hovering a bit lower, disengage lunge, and then if you're able to, start it even lower. So it's going forwards, holding it, pushing forwards. And if you're starting to note this, I'm not just holding it vertically, I'm holding it, I'm slowing my lunge as I go forwards now. So at our very first starting point, we were looking at extending, holding here, 1, 2, 3, accelerating hit. But we're now changing it so that we're getting a constant forward action but it's been held back. So that's using different sets of muscles again. So you're going to have to try and focus on holding your leg back. So you start the lunge, screwing forwards, disengaging. So I did go back a little bit on that one. As I say, having this image, this video of you training can really be a useful guide for the actual training video. So if any, for not only just this one, but any exercise, feel free to record yourself, see what you're doing, see what your pointing looks like. So once again, I'm going to start my lunge and pushing forward, and then accelerating into my opponent, imagining they're falling from my feint and disengaging. Ways that you can expand this exercise. Once you're really happy that you've got the basics of your accelerating lunge, you can then make it a bit more complex. So maybe put 2 disengages, so 2 feints in before your final action. So it's a 1, 2 disengage. So you're coming in, you're just going forward, 1, 2, and kick. Same towards the camera side, 1, 2, and then accelerating in. That was a bit too obvious. You want the first one, here it is, boom, and you kicked. If you're happy with accelerating lunge, once you build up some practice in that, as always, add a few steps in. So you can step in, go straight into that accelerating lunge, pushing the front foot forwards, but holding it back so that your opponent has time to fall for whatever action you're trying to receive them with. And as always, if you haven't got a sword, you don't need a sword. I'm simply using that to make this look more like a fencing video and to not confuse the people who are able to see through my window too much. So, you can do exactly the same thing. You're going to step in and then shadow fence. Imagine what you're going to do with your hand, the actions that you need to make to deceive your opponent. So I'm going to step in, start my 1, 2, and accelerate in. So, that was a brief explanation and a few ways that you can start to train and practice your accelerating lunges at home. If you need more help or something wasn't quite clear, do feel free to drop me a message and we can chat about it. Same as anything. Thank you and enjoy.